Marlo Thomas, once the vivacious star of That Girl and an enduring icon of television history, is now 87 years old. The mere mention of her age might make longtime fans do a double take, not out of disbelief that time has passed, but because seeing her today is like being struck by a bolt of timeless elegance and unwavering vitality. In a world that rarely allows women to age without scrutiny, Marlo Thomas has not only defied the rules but rewritten them entirely. Her story is one of enduring grace, relentless advocacy, and an ever-present sparkle that continues to capture hearts decades after her rise to fame. Born on November 21, 1937, in Detroit, Michigan, Margaret Julia Marlo Thomas came into the world with a legacy already in place. As the daughter of famed entertainer Danny Thomas, she was no stranger to the limelight. But rather than resting in the shadows of her father's fame, Marlo forged her own path, blazing trails for women in the entertainment industry. Her big break came with the groundbreaking television series That Girl, which aired from 1966 to 1971. The show was revolutionary, portraying an independent young woman living alone in New York City, something unheard of in mainstream television at the time. Marlo didn't just star in the series. She also produced it, becoming one of the first women to do so in a male-dominated industry. As That Girl gained traction, Marlo's image became synonymous with strength, charm, and progressive ideals. She wasn't content with playing a role. She wanted to change the game. Her contributions paved the way for future female-led sitcoms like The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Murphy Brown. Her courage to demand creative control and her insistence on portraying realistic, independent women spoke volumes about her determination to reshape societal norms. Marlo wasn't acting out a fantasy. She was manifesting a new reality. But her influence didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling. Over the decades, Marlo Thomas has dedicated her life to activism and philanthropy, particularly through her work with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Founded by her father, the hospital became Marlo's personal mission after his death. Her efforts have helped raise millions of dollars for pediatric cancer research, and her face remains a beacon of hope for families struggling through unimaginable challenges. Her tireless dedication to this cause has become one of the most profound chapters of her life, earning her accolades and admiration that stretch far beyond Hollywood. So what does Marlo Thomas look like today? At 87, she exudes a radiance that defies simple explanation. It's not just her well-preserved appearance, though that certainly turns heads. It's her spirit, her infectious smile, and the unmistakable twinkle in her eyes that make you pause and marvel. She may have aged, but she has done so on her own terms. She's not chasing youth with desperation. Instead, she embraces her years with a poise that makes you question everything you thought you knew about growing older. Her elegance is not just in her appearance, but in her demeanor, her voice, and her convictions. Of course, much has been said about Marlo Thomas and plastic surgery. Over the years, she has faced scrutiny, as so many women in the public eye do, about how she has maintained her youthful appearance. Critics have speculated about everything from facelifts to fillers, while fans have praised her for simply taking care of herself. Marlo has been open about some cosmetic procedures, but her focus has always remained on health and wellness rather than vanity. She has long advocated for self-care and positivity, reminding people that aging is not a curse but a privilege. Whether you see the lines smoothed or the glow of experience in her face, what stands out is not her skin, but her soul. Marlo's grace under pressure has extended to her personal life, particularly her enduring marriage to television talk show host Phil Donahue. The couple married in 1980, defying the odds in an industry known for short-lived unions. Their marriage has lasted more than 4 decades, a feat in any era, but especially so in the world of celebrity. Together, they represent a rare example of balance, love, and mutual respect. Their relationship, often described as spirited and intellectually stimulating, has stood the test of time. Marlo has frequently spoken about the joys and challenges of being a stepmother to Donahue's 5 children, embracing the role with empathy and grace. In recent years, Marlo Thomas has remained active in both public and private spheres. She continues to advocate for children's health, women's rights, and educational reform. She has written several best-selling books, including Free to Be, You and Me, a cultural touchstone that challenged traditional gender roles and inspired generations of children to embrace their individuality. This landmark project wasn't just a book. It became an album, a television special, and a movement. Marlo poured her heart into it, collaborating with a host of writers, musicians, and artists to deliver a message of inclusion, acceptance, and emotional freedom. Her advocacy has earned her countless honors, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the United States. That moment, standing beside President Barack Obama, encapsulated a lifetime of service, creativity, and impact. Yet Marlo remains humble, often redirecting praise toward the causes she supports and the people who inspire her. In the world of fashion, too, Marlo Thomas continues to make waves. Whether appearing on television, walking red carpets, or attending charity galas, she dresses with an unmistakable flair. She chooses outfits that reflect both confidence and comfort, never shying away from bold colors or elegant cuts. Her fashion choices underscore her philosophy of aging. It's not about blending into the background, it's about standing tall and making a statement. Her style is not about trends, but about authenticity, a celebration of who she is at every stage of life. Social media has provided a new platform for Marlo to connect with fans old and new. Through platforms like Instagram and Facebook, she shares messages of inspiration, behind-the-scenes glimpses into her life, and updates on her philanthropic work. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. Followers are captivated not just by her appearance, but by her wisdom, wit, and boundless enthusiasm. She engages with grace and authenticity, offering encouragement and perspective that only someone of her experience can deliver. And then there's her voice, still unmistakable, still strong. Whether giving speeches, narrating documentaries, or lending her talents to voiceover work, Marlo's voice carries the weight of history and the warmth of someone who genuinely cares. It's the voice that told us we were free to be whoever we wanted. It's the voice that still echoes with hope, resilience, and purpose. When you see Marlo Thomas today, you're not just seeing a woman who has aged well, you're seeing the embodiment of a life well lived. Every wrinkle tells a story. Every smile hides 1,000 moments of quiet perseverance. She's been through the highs and lows of show business, weathered the storms of public opinion, and emerged not only intact, but triumphant. Her presence challenges preconceived notions about aging, especially for women. She remains active, visible, and relevant in a culture that too often sidelines its elders. Her ability to reinvent herself without losing her core identity is what truly astonishes. Marlo Thomas is not a relic of the past. She is a living, breathing testament to the idea that life doesn't end when the cameras stop rolling. It evolves. She remains an icon not because she clings to fame, but because she continues to grow, give, and inspire. In her late 80s, she is still teaching us what it means to be that girl, only now with even more wisdom, compassion, and strength. Marlo's story is more than a celebrity narrative. It's a blueprint for meaningful longevity. She reminds us that beauty has many forms and that relevance isn't measured in years but in impact. She has helped millions of sick children, challenged outdated norms, and inspired generations to embrace their individuality. Her legacy is etched not just in awards and accolades, but in the countless lives she's touched, on screen and off. For those who knew her only as Anne-Marie on That Girl, seeing her now can indeed be a shock. But it's not because she's changed so much, it's because in so many ways she hasn't. The same sparkle in her eye, the same commitment to justice, and the same infectious laughter remind us of the woman who made her mark on television all those years ago. Only now, that woman has layers of wisdom, decades of service, and the kind of presence that makes people stop and reflect. So yes, Marlo Thomas is now 87, but she is also timeless. Her beauty goes far beyond the surface. It's in the lives she's uplifted, the barriers she's broken, and the truths she's dared to speak. Her journey is a masterclass in authenticity, purpose, and passion. Try not to gasp when you see her today, not because she looks so different, but because she looks so much like the best version of herself. Still radiant, still powerful, still Marlo. To understand the depth of what makes Marlo Thomas timeless, one must look past the aesthetics that often dominate public opinion. While many may first notice her well-maintained appearance, her glowing skin, sparkling eyes, and unmistakable presence, What truly leaves a lasting impression is her unshakable character. She embodies a rare combination of resilience and empathy, qualities that have not only helped her remain relevant in a shifting cultural landscape, but have positioned her as a guiding light for multiple generations. When you see her today, there is no mistaking the gravity of her experience, nor the energy with which she continues to move through the world. Marlo's timelessness is etched in her voice, the same voice that reassured countless children through Free to Be, You and Me, and the same voice that brought comfort, humor, and wisdom through decades of interviews, speeches, and public appearances. It's a voice that hasn't wavered, only deepened with age and meaning. There is something powerful about the way she speaks today, carefully and deliberately, with the cadence of someone who knows her words carry weight. Her tone resonates not just with star power, but with the maturity of someone who has lived fully, seen deeply, and chosen again and again to use her influence for good. There is also the remarkable way in which Marlo continues to engage with her community, both online and in real life. In a digital age where youth dominates most platforms, Marlo's social media presence is both refreshing and inspiring. She does not present herself as someone clinging to a past era, but as someone embracing the tools of today to continue her message. Her posts are filled with affirmations, behind-the-scenes looks at her life and causes, and reflections that only a person of true introspection could offer. There's no posturing, no performance, just genuine connection. And it's that authenticity that draws people in. She's not trying to compete with the trends of the moment. She's redefining what it means to be visible and influential as an octogenarian. Part of her enduring allure is the sense that Marlo Thomas has never stopped learning. Her curiosity, whether intellectual, emotional, or spiritual, remains intact. In interviews, she often speaks of the importance of staying engaged, reading, writing, speaking, asking questions. This thirst for growth, especially at a stage in life where many begin to withdraw from public discourse, is what sets her apart. It makes her more than a legacy figure. It makes her a living, breathing example of graceful evolution. She hasn't paused at any chapter of her life. She has kept writing new pages, even when the world might have expected her to stop. Moreover, there's a kind of emotional intelligence that Marlo radiates today that is even more potent than during her younger years. You can see it in the way she speaks about others, in how she chooses to focus her advocacy, and how she honors the memory of her father through her relentless work with St. Jude. Her energy is no longer about performance. It's about purpose. The passion that once fueled her acting career has been redirected toward causes that truly matter. And that kind of redirection, that alignment of public platform with personal conviction, is what makes her presence today so moving. You don't just admire her, you believe in her. When Marlo walks into a room, she does not carry the air of a woman trying to recapture youth. Instead, she carries the presence of someone who has taken ownership of every decade she has lived. Her confidence is not rooted in how others perceive her, but in the clarity she has developed over time. That clarity informs her style, her words, her decisions. She doesn't shy away from bold colors or elegant tailoring, not because she wants to stand out, but because she knows who she is. There's power in that kind of self-awareness, and it emanates from her with every step. People often talk about aging gracefully, but in Marlo's case, she's aging boldly. She's choosing to remain active, involved, outspoken, and joyful, even as the world around her continues to idolize youth. That boldness is perhaps the most striking part of her appearance today. Not the smoothness of her skin or the brightness of her smile, though those are remarkable, but the sheer will to continue contributing, to remain engaged in the conversations that shape our lives. She hasn't faded away. She's very much still here, still curious, still outspoken, still lifting others up. Her love story with Phil Donahue, too, is part of her timeless appeal. At a time when relationships are often depicted as disposable or fleeting, their enduring marriage is a testament to loyalty, patience, and genuine companionship. Their union has stood not just the test of time, but the pressures of public life. They continue to support each other's work, collaborate, and share insights into what it means to truly grow with someone. When you see them together today, you see two people who have chosen each other every single day for over 40 years. It's a quiet but powerful kind of love, one that doesn't need grand gestures because it is rooted in the everyday effort of being present for one another. Marlo Thomas today is not just a survivor of Hollywood's fickle gaze. She's a pioneer who has stared back at the industry and demanded more, not just for herself, but for women everywhere. She has weathered critiques, battled expectations, and still managed to emerge with dignity, poise, and her values intact. Seeing her now is a jolt to the system because it challenges the lie we've all been told, that aging is something to fear, that relevance has an expiration date, that beauty fades. Marlo stands as living proof that none of that has to be true. So when you see her, truly see her, it's hard not to gasp. Not because she's aged, but because she's aged so well, so bravely, and so beautifully. She is not an echo of her younger self, but an evolution of it. A more complex, more layered, more grounded version. She is the kind of woman who doesn't just leave a legacy. She builds one in real time, brick by brick, day by day. At 87, she is still the woman who made history. Still the advocate who champions change. Still the light that leads with compassion and conviction. Still radiant, still powerful, still Marlo.